What's up guys, it's the Hunter Project here. Welcome to my channel where you'll find Monster Hunter news, builds, playthroughs and everything in between. Today I'm bringing you a video on Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate and whether or not it's worth venturing through in 2021. For many of you who have played the older Monster Hunter games, you're probably already well aware of the answer to that question, and that of course is yes. 100% I think you should go play Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, especially if you are needing a break or running out of things to do in Monster Hunter Rise and World and still craving that Monster Hunter experience. Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate is definitely a good place to start. Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate released in 2011 for Japan and later came to the West 2 years later in 2013. The game takes place in Moga Village, a small fishing village attached to a deserted island, which is also one of the maps that you can play on throughout the game. The story takes place when, after many years of peace, large earthquakes begin to occur, and a great leviathan that should be in Rise, Legiacrus, is thought to be at the centre of it all. Based on its size though, you can kind of figure that there is a bigger monster at play. In response, the Hunting Guild sends a new, untested hunter to handle the situation, and of course that hunter being you. The story is quite simple, but of course that is not what you come to a Monster Hunter game for, and this entry specifically does have the swimming mechanic, which is one of the only 2 entries in the series to have the mechanic, and it is quite a unique one at that, and for me personally, I enjoy it a lot. Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate is available on the 3DS and Wii U, so if you do own one of these 2 consoles, or even both, I would 100% recommend picking it up. But if you do have a relatively strong PC, you can also emulate the game very well using the Citra emulator, which is how I've captured the gameplay you see in the background, and I did own the game on both of the other systems though, back when 3 Ultimate was the current game of the series, so if you do have one of those 2 systems, I definitely recommend picking it up on those systems. But worst case scenario, if you don't have either of them, but you do have a strong PC, then you have the emulation option. And if you guys would like me to do a tutorial on how to get 3 Ultimate running on PC very easily, then let me know down below in the comments, as I have seen quite a few other tutorials which are like 20 minutes long or even longer sometimes, and they don't get straight to the point, and I think I could easily make a tutorial around 10 minutes long, maybe even shorter, on just the exact simple way of getting Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate running on your PC, assuming that it can run it and it has the specifications to handle the emulation. As with every G-expanded Monster Hunter, there is an insane amount of content to dig your clutch claws into, and no, the clutch claw is not in the game like it is in World, but I really wanted to say the pun. And yeah, there's just a lot of content to sink your time into. You have low and high rank village quests, as well as the low, high and G rank quests of the Gathering Hub, and all of these quests are doable solo, so you are not having to like rely on having an extra hunter or an extra few hunters, as it's just not too big of an issue here. Everything is able to be soloed. 12 weapon types are available here. The Charge Blade and Insect Glaive unfortunately are not present due to them being introduced in Generation 4, but the Switch Axe is here, as of course it was a 3rd gen weapon introduction. And of course, with the introduction of water traversal combat as well, many maps are very fleshed out and immersive, as you are able to dive into swimmable areas very easily. However, these mechanics may be a tiny bit troublesome to start, depending on the weapon you are using, and maybe you might just not like the controls at all, but it's always worth giving it a try. For me, generally, I do enjoy it, and for the most part, from what I see around like comment sections and Reddit posts, it is like a 50-50 split for the most part of how people see the swimming, and of course a lot of that is to do with the weapon they are using, as some weapons perform really well underwater and some just are terrible, so that's definitely something you will have to test for yourself. Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, specifically the Wii U version, still stands out today with its graphical style, and it has very clean visuals, and for me personally, they're very pleasing to look at. As for the monster roster, it does have a whopping 73 monsters, 51 of them being large monsters, which is more than double that of Monster Hunter Tri, its base game counterpart, so it's quite a massive expansion, the Ultimate version. And while there aren't a lot of Elder Dragons, you do have 4 quite unique Elders, with one of them being a siege encounter, and 2 of them having another variant to mix up their fights. and the difficulty itself is in quite a nice place as well, so you definitely have a lot of work to do here, and I say that in a good way. There's a lot of content to be had here, and there is also a farming mechanic in the game where you can farm items over the course of your hunts to expand your resources, which of course you can use to craft more useful items, alongside an expedition feature where you can go monster hunting without the quest restrictions. There's no time to your hunt and you can just hunt to your heart's content, collecting items to further your player's progression, one of those being your farm upgrades. Diving deeper into the monsters without spoiling too much for those of you who want a new but old Monster Hunter experience to be fresh, there is a large diversity of monsters in this game. However, the crabs are not here, unfortunately, but there is a large range of different monster types and subspecies to slay, and I assure you, you will have a good time with this Monster Hunter. The combat itself is also at a good point in the Monster Hunter franchise. It's not too old to the point it's extremely outdated, but it's new enough that it's got the combos there for each of the weapon types to be enjoyable. But of course, don't go in there expecting like the EI slash or the true charge slash or the shoulder barge with the great sword. Any of that, don't be expecting that, but for the most part the combat is in a good spot. Is Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate worth playing in 2021? Like I said at the beginning of this video, 100% yes. It is a fantastic Monster Hunter and it has aged quite well. While the Wii U servers are quite barren and pretty much dead at this point, you can still play online using the Citra emulator, which you can easily find a tutorial on how to do on YouTube, and I myself will be doing a playthrough of this game from start to finish at some point, maybe during this month, close to the end of this month, or probably next month, so be sure to subscribe for that if you would be interested. With a fantastic setting, soundtrack and atmosphere, Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate is a great game to sink your time into, especially if you're looking for a classic Monster Hunter to fill your time. And with that said guys, that does bring us to the end of this video. If you did enjoy, be sure to smash the like, subscribe buttons, it's extremely appreciated and helps out the channel a ton. Leave a comment down below of your thoughts on Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate and any memories you have of this classic, and I look forward to reading all your comments. And don't forget to join our Discord, link is at the top of the description. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.